What's going on? How are we doing, everybody? My name is Caleb Sells. I am here today to give you guys some updates on the business and to do some live eBay listings with you guys, show you guys some things that I picked up at the thrift store recently. I'd love to engage with you guys in the chat. So if you're here, make sure you hit up the chat. If you're in the comments or if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit up the comment section. Make sure you like the video. I appreciate all the support. I'll be honest, I think this is only my second video this entire year. And in every year, the last 2 years previously, I have posted at least 2 videos every single week for 2 years straight. So I guess some people have been asking me in the DMs, reaching out to me, leaving comments where I've been. I'm here. I'm alive. I would say I'm well, but that leads me to a big reason why I have not been posting. And I got sick in January, very sick. And for whatever reason, I think I posted about this. If you saw the post, you'll know what I'm talking about. But for whatever reason, my body was not able to recover 100%. So it's been really hard to talk without going into a massive coughing fit. I still have a little bit of a lingering cough. So I do apologize if I cough a little bit in this video. Of course, talking about it is going to bring it up. But that's honestly where I've been. I still am selling on eBay and Poshmark. I'm still selling on Whatnot. I have started doing some new things as well. So I do have less time for, less time available when I'm starting new things because that takes a lot of my mental energy and my focus. But we're going to get into all that. I'd love to answer your questions in the chat, jump into some live listings, just kind of do a little bit of a hangout. I feel like, got the cough under control enough that I can be live and not be a total nuisance with the coughing. So here we are. So thanks for having me back. Sophia says, OMG, you are back. Thank you so much. That messages like that did honestly encourage me to get back here as soon as I could. I got a lot of messages, with people wondering where I am. Ashley says, glad to see you're back. Thank you so much to both of you for saying that. It's very kind. So let's jump into it. Where's my screen? See, I'm rusty. I gotta get back in the flow. Also, I have a baby, a 1-year-old. I also have a 4-year-old, but I have a 1-year-old, and he is transitioning to his own room. So the office, my awesome office, which I loved working in, is gonna be his room. So I'm down here in the basement. I still have a lot of work to go to make this look really nice. I have started setting it up for like a little golf practice area. And that is another thing I'm working on. If you have not noticed already, I have been working on making some golf content. I'm not very good, but I am trying to get better. So if you're interested in that, I'm at Caleb Sells Golf on all the platforms, making golf content. So if that interests you, I'd love to see you over there on those pages. Have a lot of cool things I'm working on. All right, the first thing I'm listing is a pair of shoes. I don't pick up a lot of shoes anymore, but my rules are they have to sell for $50. They have to sell pretty quickly, and they have to require no cleaning. Those are my 3 rules with picking up shoes these days. And these shoes definitely fit that criteria. These are Asics Super Blast 2. You can see here some of these pre-owned colorways have some great comps. This one sold for $70 new, but then this one sold for $150. All those are new as well. I saw one that was over $100 pre-owned. These are $85 pre-owned, $100. Where's the pair that I saw the other day? Oh, right here. This is the colorway that I have, I think. $115 pre-owned. Also, I got a new phone, and it's like the camera's far away from me, but it's very zoomed in on my face. So maybe it's the new setup in the office, or maybe it's the phone. I don't know, but it's bothering me. But thanks for bearing with me anyway. So let's see if this is the same colorway. Okay, this is a white and gray colorway. Mine is like a white and blue colorway. I don't really see the white and blue. Maybe I should filter by white and just see if there is any of my colorway. It's not really this gray though. It's more like white. It's this one right here. So this sold for $179 new. Big Trot in the house. What's going on? Lisa G, what's going on? We back. All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna do a sold similar off that one that sold for 115. Add in my own details here. So ASIC Super Blast 2 men's, I think mine are 10.5. I take out the word size because I want more characters for keywords. I'm gonna put white, blue, running, shoes, sneakers, chunky, racing, road. After that, change this to men, road. Okay. And I use my same SKU system for shoes now. I just put them in with the other stuff. So that's 1, 3, 6, 5, 8. And I just put it in a bag. I will ship these in a box, like if they sell for a lot of money, especially if it goes FedEx, because then it doesn't matter because the buyer paid. If it does go through authentication, I'm not sure if it does or not. Like I said, I don't really sell as many shoes as I used to. I'm a lot pickier when it comes to the shoes. 101 3A 142. Mine doesn't have the color code there, so I'm just going to skip the color code. We'll say white, Super Blast 2. Does it have the date on here? I don't know if it has the date. I'm just going to take that out. Features, I definitely want to put some features in here. Breathable, comfort, cushioned, lightweight, performance. Probably just that. Winter. Who's putting winter for that? I don't know. Pre-owned good. I have a little pre-filled in like keyboard shortcut. In good use condition, please see photos for additional details and exact condition. That's all I put. I don't go crazy with the description. I definitely don't use the AI description. I think I'm going to price at 119 because the comps are kind of all over the place, but I didn't see any listed in my colorway either. Looks like this is going through authentication. So I always click save for later and add it to my drafts. And then I delete those pictures and move on to the next item. Next item here, we have an Eddie Bauer, kind of like a trench coat with a down liner. I really am holding up, like picking up jackets lately. This is kind of what we got going on right here. I only sold it for 30 bucks. I feel like I could get a lot more than 30 bucks for it. I'm gonna probably list mine for 50. This person put, it's a vintage one, I don't know. But this is kind of what I got. I'll just do sell similar off this and fix their listing. I still am obviously picking up good jackets because good jackets, in my opinion, sell year round. This is, once this loads, you'll see my default picture here. I have it like half open where you can see the plaid lining and the down liner. That's going to sell better than whatever this is. That just looks like a regular jacket. This is like, ooh, look at that fancy thing. At least that's my thought process. I'm going to put jacket, trench, coat, chaos, coat, men's. I think mine's large. Let's check here. Yep, men large. Overcoat, trench coat, zip out. Down, fill, liner, button up. It's 550. Do I have keywords for that? 550. Hey Liz, thank you so much. A lot of kind messages today. If you're just now joining or watching the replay, the truth is that I am focused on a lot of other things, so I do have less time for making content, but the main reason I have made zero content, like I still want to create consistent content for you guys. It might not be 2 videos per week as I've done for like 2 years. I do still want to be creating consistent content, but I got sick in January, and not only I got sick, but I have 2 small children, so between my 2 kids and my wife and me, we all were sick for a super long time. I mean, it's almost been 2 months, but for me specifically, I've had a horrible cough that nothing has helped. I've tried all the natural things, I've tried all the medication things, um, and just have not been able to stop coughing. So it's hard to make a video when you are coughing constantly because you don't like. I don't want nobody wants to listen to that, and I don't blame them. So right here, I'm just kind of checking these item specifics. I'm a lot less picky with the item specifics these days. Just try to make sure the ones that are filled in that would be like relevant to somebody looking for my item. So, like for example, mid length. That's relevant to this item because it is a unique feature about this item that would make it so that somebody's looking for it. If that makes sense. Like somebody's thinking to themselves, "Oh, I want a jacket that goes a little bit longer so that I'm more protected from the wind when on my way to work." They're going to go in here and they're going to be like, "Oh, I can filter by mid length and take out all the short options." There you go. That's kind of my thought process. Is somebody actually going to search this, or is somebody actually going to filter by this? Nobody's filtering by chest size on this. Nobody's filtering by chest size. I guess you could filter by collar style, but I doubt it. Warmth weight, because I'm right here going back, I'll fill it in. But yeah, once again, not something people are filtering. For a jacket like this, you're probably not filtering by performance or activity. You might filter by closure. That makes sense to me. You might filter by pattern. You don't want patterns. You just want solid ones. So that's kind of my thought process when I'm filling out the listings. Let me know in the chat if this is helpful, or in the comments if this is helpful. Like my thought process on how I get to the list, like the listing, the way that my listing is. Is this helpful, or am I just talking random? I'm gonna list for 49. We'll see. All right, next up, I have an LL Bean cashmere sweater. I was very on the fence about picking this one up because somebody washed and dried this cashmere, so it's not its perfect shape. Do they not have it on here? They not have it? 264814. Okay, well, we'll search here. LL Bean cashmere quarter zip cable knit. Because I think this is a men's, not a women's. I would have thought these would sell for more, to be honest. 100% cashmere is very rare to find. This camera angle is really bothering me. Is this better? A little bit. It just needs to be zoomed out, but I have it as far away from me as I can. You guys are seeing me acting like a rookie here. All right, this one sold for 40 bucks. I think I'm gonna list mine for 39 because to me it is a little shrunk. But 100% cashmere is always really nice quality. I'm gonna Okay, Sophia, thanks for the feedback. I appreciate that. So this is not vintage. This is regular. Nice cable knit cashmere, 100% cashmere, not 5% cashmere. 5% cashmere is a scam. I'll say that. 5% cashmere is a scam. What that is companies putting a little bit of cashmere in their material and then selling it as a cashmere blend sweater or an upgraded material. You don't feel 5% cashmere if it's 95% cotton and 5% cashmere. It feels like cotton. So nobody's getting the benefit of that upgraded material other than you're actually probably hurting the material because cotton you can wash and dry and you can't wash and dry cashmere. So you're just basically lowering the integrity of the material because you're going to wash and dry that sweater. So 5% cashmere is a scam. 100% cashmere is a luxury material. It feels super soft. You got to take care of it. It's a more expensive material. So when you find something that's 100% cashmere, that's an elevated item. 5% cashmere is a marketing scam, in my opinion. Let me know if you agree. I rarely do this, but I'm going to put fits large in the title. I don't really do that. But to me, this was definitely shrunk from its original size. Cable knit, blue, fisherman. I used to care a lot more about the order of the words. I do for LL Bean sweater. That's where I care about the order of the words in the title. The rest, I just try to keyword spam, relevant keywords only, but try to get as many relevant keywords as possible in there. Blue. Let me see if do they say it's machine washable? Oh, I didn't even take a picture of that part. It's not machine washable. It's not tight knit, it's cable knit. Yes, I feel it's a way for them to get a little extra money. Exactly. They put that on there. They charge you $30 more for the sweater, and it probably costs them cents more to add in that 5% cashmere. That's my take. I could be wrong. Cable knit. Okay, I'm going to put in good structural condition, but appears to be slightly drunk from previous owner. Fits more like size large as listed. I got this sweater super cheap and it was 100% cashmere, so I went for it. But in hindsight, you don't really want to pick up things that need extra explanation because that makes it way harder to sell. You want things that are extremely easy to understand, like something that sells itself. Blankenship, what's going on? Thanks for the welcome back. Blankenship says, welcome back. Can you tell me how you get your photos onto Windows to pull into the listing? Have a hard time getting my iPhone images to Windows. Okay, I will be completely honest. I can't help you a ton with that because I use a Mac. So I just airdrop my photos from my iPhone to my Mac. And it's very, very simple to do it that way. I don't know what the best route would be if you don't use a Mac. So if anybody is here live that does an iPhone picture and a PC or Windows listing and lists on the computer, maybe you could help out Blankenship and I can highlight your message. Ashley, thank you so much. Before I move any further, I do want to say my oldest sponsor on the channel is GyroPack. They make great poly bags. You can use my code Caleb, all lowercase, and it's also linked down below in the description for 10% off your first order. If you've already used my code, there's lots of other creators that you can use their code and help them as well. I really appreciate their service. The shipping is super fast. I just ordered some, what was it? Thursday, and they came Saturday. So 2-day shipping, which is great. They have tons of sizes, colors, everything you can want. And I also appreciate them because they've been with me from the beginning. So definitely check them out, GyroPack. It's linked down below, and use my code if you want a deal. So like on that one, I took a picture of the sleeve length because it was shrunk, but I don't normally do sleeve length. Okay, here we have some John Barbados linen shorts. All right, Big Trot says, I use Android to desktop. I use a cord that is USB on desktop, C drive on phone end, then allow permissions and drag and drop. I don't know how that would work on PC from iPhone. Just to be honest, I have no idea. Maybe that's a way to do it. iPhone to PC. But Android to PC, those worlds communicate a little bit better, it seems. We got some John Varvatos linen shorts. You can see I already searched this when I was at the thrift store. And these are brand new with tags. Is there any new ones I can see? Brand new with tags. So we got 35. We got 71. We got 30. We have 30. We have 40. We have 96. And we have 96. So before I list these, or while I'm listing them, I want you to put in the chat or in the comments what you would list. John Varvatos, USA. Linen shorts, new with tags. Mine are black, size 38. I'm just going to start my listing from scratch. $65. Putting in the inseam in shorts, in my opinion, even if someone's not searching it, they're going to be thankful that you did put it in the title. In my opinion, if I'm looking for shorts, I want to know the inseam personally. 39.87, Benjamin says. I guess it is John Barbados USA, so I should put USA. How do I feel about the Nifty AI lister? I've not tried the Nifty AI lister since the very first day it came out, so I can't really weigh in on it too much. Don't really have any great keywords for these. I probably should think of some better ones, but tis what it is. Now, these are linen and they measured 40 inches across. I'm going to put 40 in the waist, but see with linen, it's definitely going to shrink up if they launder it. So I don't really think it's like actually the wrong size or anything. I think a lot of items new with tags measure bigger than the size because when you wash and dry them, they shrink. So if you buy and sell a lot of new with tags items, you'll find that. Luckily, I do find a pretty good amount of new with tag stuff, so I'm pretty comfortable handling that situation and knowing when it's an error or when it's just something that needs to be explained really quick. Let's see, where were these made? India. Oh yeah, have you guys seen the update where you need to have that country of origin for selling international? That's made me care more about putting that in there. So I'm going to put brand new condition. Please see photos for additional details. Waist measures 40 inches, but will shrink slightly upon laundering. I'm going to list at 69. If you use Nifty, we haven't even talked much about Nifty. I still use Nifty every single day, and I love Nifty. If you use Nifty, one thing I personally like to do, I'm not saying everybody should do this. This is just how I personally like to do this. I like to list at 69 flat or 59 flat or 49 flat, not put the cents in there. I know that I am kind of shorting myself a free however many cents a lot of times on these listings if they sell on eBay. But I've realized that I feel like my Poshmark conversion percentage is going to be higher because if you do 69.99 or 95 or 87 on Poshmark, when you cross list with Nifty, if you just are spamming and clicking and going as fast as possible, like that's how I do it, it will automatically put your price to 70. And on Poshmark, you only do whole numbers. So the difference of the look between 69 and 70 to me is a huge psychological advantage to be at 69 versus 70 when I'm listing on Poshmark. So I just eat that change that I would make on something like this, list at 69, and then when I cross this as a Poshmark, it will also be at 69. Am I making sense? Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. Because sometimes it makes sense in my head, but doesn't actually make sense, and that's okay. Next item, I'm gonna actually try to Google Lens here. It's an ibex merino wool shirt. Trying to get the model name if possible, or find out men's or women's. It's kind of like this, huh? That's smart wool though. See if I can find anything on their website with ibex. Men base layers, kind of like this. Woolies 250. I probably could just put that in the title. Mine's definitely an older model. Definitely an older model, but this is pretty much what we got going on here. And mine's 100% merino wool. Ibex merino wool base layer men's green. Let's just see if I can find one that looks like mine, just to confirm pricing. Dang, this brand used to be great. I'm seeing like 19 bucks for a full zip merino wool jacket. I think that's pretty sad. Ibex used to be like a grail. Oh, this one sold for 60 bucks. Just a basic one. Maybe it's all in the listing. Let's see how my listing does. Okay. This is kind of similar to what I got going on here. That says USA made. Are we made in USA? Yeah, USA made. All right. Let's try it out. So while I'm listing this one, oh, really quick. Sophia says, yes, because it will round up on Poshmark. Didn't realize it when I was cross-listing, so I had to go back and manually change it. Yeah, exactly. I'm just saving myself that little step. I mean, maybe I'm missing out on a little bit of money or profit from doing that on one platform, but I'm making it up on the other platform. So I don't know. So while I'm listening to this one, I'll give you guys a little bit of an update on me and what I'm focusing on. I have really been leaning into selling on Whatnot. I sell golf stuff. Golf is a huge hobby and passion for me. So it honestly has been super fun to kind of jump into that world and try to figure it out. And it's been actually going really well. I've made some connections for acquiring inventory that have been really cool. And here's what I will say with the Whatnot stuff. I do feel like I have a pretty good thing going on Whatnot with what I'm focusing on. I'm not like afraid of like somebody figuring it out or like coming and stealing my thunder, because the truth is I have such a head start from like grinding it out for the last, I don't know, like 8 months to get like a following in that category and to learn what sells in that category and things like that. But I also know that I know of at least two people that sell on there a good bit that started doing it from watching my videos. So I don't necessarily want to like bring 12 or 15 more people on there doing the same thing as me. Like obviously with Whatnot, it's a lot people interested in your personality, in your type of inventory, the specific things you can source. So I'm not really worried about somebody coming and like replacing me in the category. But I do think that it can be a little bit crowded doing exactly what I'm doing. So I'm not, and also I don't necessarily think it's like super relevant and interesting to eBay reselling what I'm doing on Whatnot because it's so completely different. But now that I have some alternative connections, it is kind of a little bit unrelatable as well, because you can't, like, people that are watching this video, like, you won't just be able to, Scott, um, hit up your supplier and order more inventory, which now I'm lucky to be able to do that at least on a small scale, and I'm working on scaling that up. So it's not super relevant or relatable to, I think, the audience that this channel, speaks to. But that being said, that actually has been my primary focus when it comes to reselling this year. I've sold way more on Whatnot than I have on eBay or excuse me, or Poshmark. I still list every single day for the most part on eBay. I still am thrifting every single week and still have really good sales and a lot of insight into what's going on eBay. But I definitely have put my main business focus on Whatnot, and I've put my main creative focus on golf content, because that is my, like, a long-term strategy for marketing the Whatnot shows, is through finding unique buyers that are interested in golf and like getting a deal, that have no idea what Whatnot is. And so that's kind of the journey that I'm going on. It has a lot of my attention and focus right now. And then eBay is kind of that steady thing that I have the systems down, that I can kind of do it with my eyes closed. I can do a lot of quality work for eBay in a very short amount of time, um, because I have figured this thing out and gotten my systems down really rock solid when it comes to eBay. So I don't know. Does that make sense? Scott says, I did a Whatnot stream and I was like, let me keep going with my strong eBay store. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it really is like a huge commitment to push through the awkward, boring, like, difficult start on Whatnot. And luckily, excuse me, I was able to do that when I first started out, from being here on social media and having, people that were at least somewhat interested in what I was doing. But I will say it's been so nice going out into a category and having completely no following whatsoever and building from the ground up, because now the people in my shows are extremely interested in what I have, and have became, like, in a interesting way, kind of like, my community on here. It's its own community on Whatnot, and they interact with each other. They interact with me. There's some inside jokes. I'm live a lot of the time, so I'm more liable to say funny things, I guess. Shooting from the hip. But it's been really fun over there. So that is why you'll see I list a lot less items if you do follow my eBay store. I know some people like message me on eBay from here. By the way, just message me on Instagram or in the comment section, not on my actual eBay store, because eBay watches those messages. So I'm not really trying to give too much advice on the eBay messages, just FYI. But anyway, all that being said, that's why I list way less items and sell way less stuff, is I've been grinding on Whatnot. I'm almost to Premier Shop in the last 2 months, which is $50,000 in a 3-month cycle, and I'm almost at $50,000 in the last 2 months. So I'm going to make a strong push here over the next few weeks to get to that Premier Shop status, which has been kind of like a low-key goal of mine ever since I started. Yeah, and since I'm selling golf stuff, it really works out well, because usually eBay kind of dips in the summer, but with golf stuff, summer is like the prime time for selling things. So I thought that that would be a really good thing to pair together, and we'll see how it goes this summer. I will keep you guys updated, with things that are relevant to my overall reselling journey, but I'm starting to see Whatnot less as like a reselling thing, even though it is reselling, and more like its own standalone business. And I'm trying to kind of separate the two a little bit. And so that's why you might not see as much content from me on the Whatnot side. So that's a little bit of a business update for me. Scott says, it's good you did that, bro, and stuck with it. Smart dude. I appreciate you, Scott. Thank you so much. All right, I found some Relwyn shorts. I was super excited to find this brand. Of course, I found like one of the worst items you can find in a brand because normally anything Relwyn is like an insane find, especially like a jacket or a sweater or something. But hey, I'll take it. Even the shorts. This person sold them for 49 in December. Probably not a lot listed. Let's see how many are listed. There was 8 sold. And 1 listed, and it's not even a pair of shorts. So I'm gonna list mine for. Let's figure out what the highest was. What was the highest sale? 94 new, 55 used. I might list mine for 59. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? They said 8.5 inch. I got 9 inch. Let's see if it's on their site. Rowan camo shorts. Okay, it is an 8.5 camo fade. Is mine snap button? Mine's not a snap button. I feel like this is what I got going on though. Yeah. I guess one thing I will say is that mine is missing one of the back buttons. To me, I don't feel like it's a huge deal breaker, but I guess I should maybe list mine for 50 because of that. Yes, exactly, Sophia. So they offer, we got some wiggle room. So green camo fade, I think they called it. Camo fade. I'm taking out flat front. Nobody's searching flat front. Come on now. I know I put that in my other one as I had no keywords. Cotton stretch, I guess. 8.5 inch. Inseam. Rowan shorts. I need to get flyweight flex into the title somehow. We can take out this. Flyweight flex. There we go. So that's how I make a title right there. You got to make sure you get the model name because especially somebody that's searching on Huckberry, they're going to go right here. They're going to go to this. They're going to be like, it's $158 for a pair of shorts. I'm not paying $158 for a pair of shorts. They're going to go like this. Copy. They're going to type in Relwyn flyweight flex short. And then they're going to go here and they're going to be like, oh, I can get it for $45. That's such a good deal. Am I making sense? What else did I say in the title? Business updates, live listings, Q&A. Okay, I think I did all that. If you're watching the replay and you made it this far, put replay in the comments. I'd be impressed if you made it this far, and I appreciate you and I thank you. All right, if you're here live, it's also a Q&A. So if you have questions, let me know your questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. All right, in good condition, but missing one of the back pocket buttons as shown. I still might list these for 59. There's none listed. Why not, right? So we talked about GyroPack. We talked a little bit about Nifty. You must not like the Nifty layout if you're doing it on the eBay website. Well, Scott, I honestly have just been listing on eBay for 6 years now. So to me, and eBay is the platform that requires the most information. So I have the muscle memory down for listing on eBay. I've not even tried listing directly on Nifty or using their AI lister. But I do love Nifty overall. I use it every single day to cross-list my items. I use it every single day to recreate my eBay listings, share my Poshmark closet, and it's made me a silly amount of money over the last, almost 2 years now of using it. It always auto delists my items. If you're thinking about cross listing or you already cross list and you're using a different software, please use my code for the 7-day free trial and just give it a try. Let me look at what my actual code is. I'm rusty, guys. I'm rusty. Okay, the code is Caleb Sells, or you can click the link in the description down below. Please use the trial. If you've not cross-listed or you're using a different service other than Nifty, please try it because it's all in one with the automation, and the automation alone will make you serious money reselling. In my opinion, it's made me tens of thousands over the last 2 years. All right, next item I picked up is an item I should have never picked up. Should have never picked it up. I picked it up because it was cheap and I regret it. Okay, that's not a good reason to pick something up. We got some Fair Harbor shorts. Nifty has been getting better with the specifics, says Scott. I really want to try out the AI lister. Do you guys want to see me try out the AI lister? The Ozone board shorts. So a little pro tip, this is how I find the model name for certain items. I just drop it into Google Lens, Fair Harbor Ozone board shorts. Then I do this, I copy, I go Fair Harbor, paste, Ozone board shorts, and here we are. So obviously they don't sell for a lot of money. I shouldn't have picked these up. Not a good item to pick up, but here we go. Here we are anyway. I'll try to sell these for $19.95. I picked these up for $3. So not the end of the world, but we like to get a little bit more of a return on our time. On Nifty now, you can designate the title order you want now. Hey, that's cool. Let me know in the chat or in the comments. If you're watching the replay, in the comments, if you're live, put AI lister in the chat right now if you want to see me test the AI lister and get my honest thoughts on it. I'll try the Nifty AI lister. Fair Harbor Ozone swim trunks, men's. I think these are medium, 8-inch inseam. Men, medium, 8-inch inseam, line, board, short, stripe. Sophia says, do you promote all your items on eBay? I have 89 items and I sell 3 to 5 a week without promoting. I just can't justify giving eBay more money if my items are moving. I only list 5 items a day. Okay, so there's a few different things in that message. Let me go full screen here. There's a few different things in that message, I would say, Sophia. First of all, if you are happy with the sales that you're making and you're making good profit, including you have good cash flow in your business, only you know the numbers of your business. To me, if you are happy with all of that and you don't have to promote, then that's completely up to you if you want to promote or not. If you don't need to promote to make the profit that you want to make, then don't promote, in my opinion. Here's what I'll say. If you promote, your sales will increase. Items just do sell via promoted. I do promote all of my items. I prioritize selling items as fast as I can because I like very fluid cash flow in my business. That's just the business model that I've always kind of rocked with here on eBay. And I should look it up, but I'll look it up another time. But I think last time I checked, about 50-ish% or more sold via promoted. Now, maybe some of those would have sold even if I didn't promote. But to me, I can't afford to give up 50% of those sales. Now, if I've never promoted and I could get to where I want to be without ever promoting, I might have a different perspective. But because I've promoted since the beginning, I really could not afford to turn off promoted listings and lose 50% of my sales. But that's where everyone has to make their own decisions. I can only give you the best advice I can give you. I'm not perfect. I don't have all the right answers. But if you're making the profit that you want to make with the cash flow and the workload that you like, you don't have to do anything. That being said, it is hard to go back to not promoting once you promote. So maybe take this with a grain of salt, but I'd be very curious how many items per week you'd be selling if you promoted all your items. To me, if you sell 3 to 5 in a week but are listing 5 items per day, your store is going to keep growing. And to me, that's not selling as fast as I would like. If I had 89 items in my store, I would personally be wanting to sell 1 item per day. And then if I was listing 5 items per day, I would want to be selling 5 items per day. So to me, having 90 items in your store and listing 5 per day the math is not fully mathing, because five items a day times 90 days will be 450 items in the last 90 days. And if you sold 5 a week, how many weeks is 90 days? 90 divided by 7. Let's just say 12. 12 weeks, selling 5 a week. That's 60 items. So you'd be adding 390 items to your store every single week at that pace if you listed 5 per day and you sold 5 a week. So your store would be getting huge, and you'd only be selling like a small fraction of your items. But right now your store is not huge, so you're either selling a little bit more than you think, or you're not listing as much as you think. Because if say you list 5 items a day, but you miss 3 or 4 days a week, that's really like the equivalent of listing 2 or 3 items a day, if that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. By the way, I'm not criticizing you. If you're making what you want to make, I think that's amazing. I currently am only listing 5 items per day right now on eBay because I'm so focused on other businesses. So there's nothing wrong with listing 5 items per day, and you can still make good money. I'm making about right now. I'm making about $1,000 a week doing 5 items per day. So if I can make 50K a year with very limited work, that would be great. And that's profit, not just gross sales. Okay, where are we at? Got to put my SKU in here. This is how I do my SKU. I pre-bag all my items. Do you think the first image on an angle is more pleasing to see, or does it make it easier to take photos? I think having a unique but very clear picture of the item helps you stand out on eBay. So let's search something else and let's see like what item like grabs your attention right away. Well, let's search the next item. I have some vintage Levi's 517 black. That's going to be the next item. True, that was a good answer. So this is what a lot of the pictures are going to look like. Okay. You see this? That immediately grabs your eye because it's different. Now, that being said, with these vintage Levi's, I didn't take a fancy profile picture because with vintage 517s, you want to see the shape of that boot cut. So I'm not saying that this is actually not a good example, but like this one is a little bit interesting. Sophia, I'm glad that answer was helpful. Seeing the back, because the back butt pocket and everything of Levi's is like the iconic part of the jeans. This person is an orange tab, so they have it on the back there. So I would say you want to be unique, but it still needs to show the overall identity of the image. Did I take anything? Do I have any other items coming up where I did that? I have an item coming up I can do next that I feel like is a good example for that. And I kind of do that here. Like I could have just did it straight on, but I do a little bit of an angle. And that means because of that angle, I can get the item filling up more of the frame. So less pixels are background and more pixels are the image. I think that mine would stand out against this. Is there a way to see these side by side? Not really. But we're talking about this versus this. I feel like mine is just a little bit crispier than this. This is kind of hanging. You got that wrinkle in the front. Even this one, they got all the wrinkles out, but the hanger is distracting in my opinion. This one, no hanger, and they did a great job of filling up like a lot of the pixels, but see, it's not even in square mode. That's cropped off right there. This person, I like this. I like this a lot. That's a stock photo. So literal professional marketers took that picture. To me, that looks like a stock photo. I could be wrong. Or this person's really good. Another fun find, 1024. If you see this, you're doing awesome. This one, very basic, but like if that were me, I would want this filling up more of the frame, and I'd want that tag flipped so you can see the brand, and I'd probably want that to be highlighted. This, they did black on black. You can't see that. This is closer to where I'd want to be, but I'd want that tag to just be a little bit more of the focus. This one, you can't see any details. It's on like a 45-degree angle going in. Sorry, I'm just analyzing pictures, but just so you can kind of get into my thought process of how I'm taking the pictures. This one could be using up a little bit more of the frame, but otherwise I think that's perfectly fine, but that's not going to help you stand out. Perfectly fine is perfectly fine. Standing out is going to get more eyeballs. Bottom line. Is it the only factor? No. Price, condition, keywords, promoted listing, all those things matter a ton. That was a long rant. I'm glad that was helpful. All right, mine are the lined version, medium, polyester, blended, bottom, board short, stripe. Like I said, I'm way less picky on the item specifics these days. Partially is because like I'm only listing 5 items per day. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. And partially because like I really just try to have such a strong picture and title. Like I do believe that my titles are really good. I think title and that first picture and price are just the real ingredients to success. All right, we got vintage Levi's 517 jeans, men 38-32 black boot cut. Y2K. What else do I want to put? Western Rodeo Cowboy. Now I'll show you guys one of my thought process here when it comes to the pictures. I'll drop all these in and let you guys decide. Okay. So with this first picture here, you're able to see that boot cut silhouette, which I think is kind of the selling point. Well, I gotta turn on Do Not Disturb. Yumbo's blowing up my phone, and you guys need to tell him to chill. You can kind of see the silhouette of the leg right here, which is the selling point for a 517 boot cut. Okay, if these were straight leg or slim or something else, I'd consider doing something like this. I'd fix the cropping because I didn't do a good job of that. I'd do something like this. Honestly, still could probably stand out with something like that. That's standing out on the page. You can see 517 right there. You can see the size. You got the nice red Levi's tab. Maybe this is a better, but I was honestly being lazy and I didn't take that at a very good angle because I wasn't anticipating that being the first picture. So the first picture, I'm super, super dialed in on that first picture. And then all the other pictures, I'm going as fast as possible because the other pictures are to get the information across. The first picture is to market the item to somebody scrolling. So that's like my mindset when I'm taking pictures. So if I'm taking too long taking pictures, I'm wasting time, wasting money. But the first picture is what makes the sale and converts the sale. So that is worth my time and energy. Give me a thumbs up in the chat or comments if that's making sense. Had some extra characters, throwing that in the chat. Pockets, cotton, 5-pocket, all season, zip, marine, machine washable, vintage, yes, denim. Oh, I should put denim in there instead. That's all right. 38, 32. I have to edit the first and last photo to get the right color. I don't know how you guys do it without editing. Scott, have you watched my How I Take Pictures video? And do you take pictures on an iPhone? Let me know. My computer's almost out of storage, so it's not always acting appropriate right now. Vintage Levi's 517 black. Yeah, I followed that and looked into it hard. Yeah, so the biggest thing when it comes to pictures is that your standard phone camera does not do a good job of getting the white balance correct, and it also changes based on the angle, and it's trying to do its best guess. But you need to either buy an app or use an app on your phone, or if you have Android, you can do this in the Android camera app, I believe. But you need to find the correct white balance. So put an item on there that it captures the item perfectly, and then lock those settings, and then keep that same white balance when you take pictures of another item. And that is what always makes sure the color is true on every single item that I take, and I never have to change the color or go back in and edit. If you are curious how I do that, I have an entire video on how I take photos. You can find it on my page, I'm sure. Okay, I should put Y2K in here. Maybe somebody will help me. They did that. I'm gonna ask Yumbo what I should price these. I'm not gonna share my conversation with Yumbo, but I'm gonna tell him I'm live right now. I'm gonna let him know that I'm live and that the people are depending on him. Okay. I'm gonna let him just determine the price on that and see what he thinks. Hey, if you're just now joining, we got 32 people in here. We were at 25 for a while. So if you're one of the people that just now joined, I already went through a bunch of like life updates, business updates, why I haven't been making videos. I'll put you out of your suspense. I got sick and had a cough I could not get rid of. I still kind of have it. I've been coughing for like 7 weeks now. It's horrible. Anyway, now we're doing some live listings and some live Q&A. So if you have questions you want answered, put them in the chat, put them in the comment section, and I will answer your questions. I've responded to every single comment on my page for 2.5 years now. So if you have a comment, you can comment and I will respond to it. All right, next up we have some Polo Ralph Lauren, Varick Slim Straight jeans. All right, let's see if Yumbo got back to me. He says waist is kind of big. I'd go 45 to 55 though. Okay. He's the Levi's guy, so I'm going to trust him. So I'm going to do 54.95 and see how it goes. All right, so for the Polo Ralph Lauren Varick Slim Straight, I have 36.30. I'm going to go all the way down to the size on this because this is a very common pair of jeans. I'm going to go pre-owned condition. Do we have pre-owned on there? Sorry, my computer's not agreeing with me here. Just going to refresh. Okay, we have 97 sold, and 100 listed. So almost as many sold as we have listed for Polo Ralph Lauren Varick Slim Straight 3630. So that's why I picked these up. 39, 39, 31, 29, 139. Obviously, that's got some extra details there with the patchwork. This person got 44 and it says salvage. Is this actually salvage or is this fake salvage? Just somebody doesn't know what they're talking about. That is questionable. Questionable salvage. I don't think so. What do we think? Salvage, yes or no? Questionable. If it was actually salvage, I think I sold a pair of Polo Ralph Lauren salvage jeans for like 99 bucks. I'm going to list mine for 39 and see how we go. Mine are just pretty basic. Polo Ralph Lauren jeans. See, for me, like when I know exactly what I'm doing, it's faster for me to just savage. No, selvage, D Mendoza. Selvage, not savage. It's faster for me to just create the listing. By the way, I knew what you meant. The listing myself than to copy somebody else's listing when I know the item and I know what I'm trying to do here. Okay. Yes, Sophia, Yumbo is super knowledgeable and he's a telling it like it is kind of guy. Yeah, he's cool. He's a good friend and he's a cool guy. I recommend checking him out if you haven't already. But if you're watching this, you probably already watch him, which you should. Varick Slim Straight Medium Wash, I guess. Not really a great keyword. Not really too much to say because people that are searching for this are going to be typing in Varick Slim Straight because they went to Polo Ralph Lauren. They saw that they're 148 retail and they don't want to pay 148 retail. So they go on eBay and they buy it for 35 bucks. You got to get inside the mind of the buyer. Who's buying this type of item? Or mine 100% cotton? 100% cotton, not stretch. So you got to get inside the mind of your buyer. Who is buying Polo Ralph Lauren Varick Slim Straight jeans? Somebody that wants to wear Polo Ralph Lauren but doesn't want to pay $148. So what is that type of person going to search on eBay? They're going to type Polo Ralph Lauren jeans 3630. Well, that's the first four things in my title right there. So I'm going to match the title. Say they went into the store or they know what type of cut they want because they went into the store and tried on the jeans and they figured out what style they like. They're like, oh, the Varick Slim Straight, that's the style that I like. In the store, they're going to go on eBay and they're going to type in Varick Slim Straight. That's how we convert those sales. We match up our title, we match up our listing with what the buyer is looking for. Don't think like a seller. Don't think like a thrifter. Think like the buyer of your item. And you're going to have a lot easier time converting sales. Is that making sense? It's nice to be back on here. I love going on little rants about random stuff. It's fun. I missed you guys. Since I've been gone, my son turned 1 year old. Isn't that crazy? 1 year old, not 1 years old. Forgot how to speak English for a second. Forgive me. 1 year old and my daughter's almost 4. Was I making content yet when my daughter was born? I don't think so. It's crazy. A lot has happened in 4 years. All right, now I got some random vintage Columbia pants. Once again, I got these super cheap and they were new with tags. So I'm not even going to look these up. I'm just going to try to sell them for 25 bucks. Men, 36.30, I believe. 36.30, khaki tan, authentic fit is what they call this. Authentic fit. Not too fitted, not too loose is what they call it. Straight authentic fit. Outdoor hiking. Is there a cargo pocket? I guess technically. New. I don't have room for new. That's fine. I'm not even going to look this up because I know it's not a good item. I just got it super cheap and it was new with tags. So we get it, we list it affordably, we sell it, we move on to the next item. That's my strategy. Not everybody has to do it the same as me. That's my strategy. Can we get twill? Can we get twill as a fabric, eBay? A rural squirrel in the house. Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. You caught a live. I've not been live in over a month. I've been sick, trying to get better so that I can come on here and not cough my head off and annoy everybody. So you haven't been missing much, but we are back. Finally feeling healthy enough. That's not canvas, but I guess that's the closest thing. Can we get twill as an item specific eBay? eBay, please. Twill. The ladies have twill in fabric. Can we get twill? Is anybody else bothered by that? I don't know why it bothers me. Right now, country of origin jumped way up on my priority list on my listings because I love getting those international sales. Anybody else? Oh, I said I would do an item with a picture, and we just got to the item, but it wasn't. I didn't do it next. I'm sorry, Scott, if you're waiting on that. This is a modern baseball hoodie. Modern Baseball is a brand. I mean, not a brand. Is a band. Is a band. So when I saw this, I at least knew what I was looking at. I'm not seeing anything. I think one of the sales I saw must have fallen off the 90-day sales from when I picked this up. Let's see if there's just anything else. Is there a reason you like to do that? Okay, so Josie, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. When you're in the listing, there is a benefit to typing in. There is a benefit to typing in your own custom item specifics. But if the item specific is a drop-down list, that means that when they're searching, it shows up over here as something that they can click. Can you see where my cursor is? Something that they can click. When you type in your own custom thing, it is not something they can filter by. It only helps you with coming up in search. So I'm gonna re-explain that. I hope it's clear. Let me get into the listing. Okay, I need to go to Terapeak here. And show you guys a comp on this modern baseball hoodie. The actual ones from the brand. Okay, yes, I understand. I'm going to explain it again because I think that's really important. There's a lot of like really cheap knockoff ones, but there are actual tour ones that sold for $145. This one sold for $67. Why am I doing this? Sorry. I'm not even sharing the screen. This one sold, the vintage modern baseball hoodie, this one sold for $67. This one sold for $48. So I think there is a collector's market for this item. So I'm going to list mine for $99. Modern baseball band hoodie, men XL, white, holy ghost. Album, record, promo. I don't know. I was just seeing if there's anything else I needed to see in there in the modern baseball search results. Okay, here's a great example of my first picture, and then I'm going to get into this thing with the listings here. Okay, I originally was taking this as my first picture, but you can hardly see that logo, which, by the way, if this is what I'm using for the logo, I need to zoom way in on that. See how it says Holy Ghost right there? It's like hard to see because it's white on white. So I decided I'm going to use this as the main picture. So you can tell this is a hoodie, but this is giving the idea of what the item actually is. Whereas most people would put this as the first picture. Okay, which one tells you more of what the item is and grabs your attention? This one, the front of the item, white on white graphic, or the blue on white graphic, big band name. Brand and band are too close together, sorry. And taking up the entire frame. That's what we're going for. I saw emo and punk in the other listing, so I'm copying their keywords. Okay, item specifics. If you come here to theme, people can filter by all of these drop downs. So if you add in your own custom filter or custom theme, nobody can filter on the side when you're searching. Nobody's filtering over here on the side. Let me get back up to the top. Nobody's filtering here on the side. See more filters? Nobody's filtering by theme and able to do your custom theme. But if you put Carolina in your theme and somebody puts in modern baseball Carolina, that's not a good example, but your item would still come up in search. So it still is a good idea to add things to the item specifics when necessary. But for me, I never add in a custom item specific for fabric, because if an item is twill and I feel like that's a selling feature of the item, I'm going to put it in the title. So it's already going to come up in search, and nobody's going to be able to filter by fabric twill. So I'm not really helping myself by putting a custom thing in there. Hope that makes sense for anybody listening. Brand is Gildan. They use some high quality blanks, I guess. Has anybody listened to this brand? White or Modern Baseball? I think I've heard a couple of their songs. Why does it say t-shirt? I put hoodie. Let me know if you have any other questions down below. Theme, band, music. Fabric is fleece. Country of origin, probably, I don't know, Nicaragua. Pattern is graphic print, probably cotton poly blend. Yeah. This, I don't even know why I'm filling this in. Nobody's filtering by cotton polyester when it comes to a band hoodie, but it's out of habit because I think people do sort by cotton on hoodies, because for me, for example, I prefer a cotton hoodie rather than a polyester hoodie for me personally. So that's why I fill that in, but maybe that's I'm the only one that's caring about that. All right, I do have a couple more items here, but I'm just going to go over, I'm just going to look up one more item and I'll list it another time. But I have a pair of Nike pants that have the style code, and I always prefer to do that and show you guys that, because to me, the style code on Nike items is just like, look, Nike sportswear commuter pants, $48, $28, $30, $48, that's new, $54, that's new. These are a bunch of new, $25, $20, $27, $25. This is a good selling Nike item, and a lot of Nike items are not good, but if you can find those good Nike items, there are so many good ones, and Nike is so accessible. It's a great brand to find. So I just wanted to pull that up really quick to show you guys. You've got to type in that 6-digit code. Let's see, can I get that over here just by doing this? I think I can just do this. Yes, this 6-digit code right here, DM6621, and then this is the colorway. And that's how you can look up every Nike item to see if it's good or not. All right, Josie says, yes, thank you. You may have already mentioned this. So when you have twill pants, which do you select for the material specific? This stumps me all the time and bothers me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'll be completely honest. For twill, I usually leave it blank. If it's a twill that could pass as canvas, I don't know if that's making sense. Like, if you're like me and you've touched tens of thousands of clothing items, probably hundreds of thousands now, you'll know what I mean. Like a twill that has that a little bit more of that stiff feel that could be could be kind of like canvas. I will put canvas, but I usually leave it blank and make sure twill is in my title. Or sometimes I do put twill in that item specific, just to make sure it's covered in the search if I am not able to fit it in my title. But a lot of times twill is not like super paramount to the identity of the item. So sometimes I just don't worry about it as well. So that would be my answer to that. I'm about to log off here. Twill, yep, bothers me. I do the same if canvas will work. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to be trying to get back to the consistent content. I'm still trying to figure out what the new routine and what types of videos are going to be coming. So I'd love to hear your feedback in the comment section. And I appreciate all your support. I appreciate all the people that reached out to me, checked in on me, made sure I was doing okay. I am doing relatively fine other than having a cough, but we are doing good. Business is good. Working on a lot of new things within business. Josie, thank you. And we'll talk soon. So peace out. Have a blessed day. And yeah, we'll see you soon.